What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the after credit scene. We're talking forecasts and predictions for episode 7 of Agatha All Along. Before we get started, guys, you know what to do. Click the button, do the things, share this video all across the multiverse. We really appreciate you doing it. We're on our way to 200 subscribers. We really need your help to do it. Thanks for watching, guys. Whole lot of things coming up. We're into the last 3 episodes. The final 2 episodes get dropped together back to back on October 30th. So this is our last singular prediction. Next week, our predictions are going to be probably not a lot more varied, but definitely a little more focused and going to be covering 2 episodes. So this is the last time we get to take some stabs in the dark here and kind of really theorize as to what's going on. Obviously, at the end of last episode, we're going to get some Agatha-Billy team-ups. I think we get some Agatha road to redemption type things. I think that's forthcoming. I think her warming up to Billy, them connecting together, not necessarily just working together to get off the road, even though I think that's what's going to happen in episode 7. I think there's some things that are going to soften her and change her, especially with respect to a coven, a group of people, and some things in her past with her son and all these other things. However, I think we saw the real Agatha for the first time, not just the playful and I'm missing parts of my memory, so I'm a little more laid back personality, but she got some of her power back at the end of the 3rd puzzle, the end of the 3rd challenge, when she interacts with Billy. Last episode, you see some real anger and some real conniving behavior out of her in terms of the seriousness of her tone and things like that. And I think even though there's a road to redemption here, I think she's going to become a lot more unhinged. I think finishing the road, getting what she wants, getting away from Billy, trying to finish these things, I think that's part of her redemption arc, but I think it's got to get a little darker for her before it gets better, especially because the other witches have to come into contact and deal with the fact that Billy tried to kill them, so to speak. And I think because of some of the other trailers we've seen and just what I think is the nature of the road, I'm 100% certain these other witches are going to find their way back. We've already seen some trailers of what one of the next challenges could be. We've been getting a lot of Wizard of Oz references, so I'm 100% certain here this next puzzle is going to be Wizard of Oz related. But to what end and how that puzzle functions is going to be anybody's guess. I think it's going to have a lot to do with Lilia, especially because the idea of the tower and the crown and all of these things on these tarot cards. I think with her being cast as Glinda the Good Witch, it's going to be interesting to see how this challenge connects with the stories and the theories that are going on. I don't think we've seen the end of Lorna Wu, of Alice Wu. I think there's still a lot more to go there. And I don't think that the road kills witches. I think the road is meant to challenge witches. I think they get stuck on the road. I think it's meant to challenge the coven and help them all grow together. I could be wrong about that, and the longer this goes, the more shaky my theory seems, but I still think that's what's going on. And I think you get some of that in this next episode. Everybody thinks they're dead, but we're going to find out that the road absorbed them somehow, or that they're someplace else, and how they get to where they're supposed to go is going to be a new challenge. We've gone 2 episodes without a lot of Rio. Where did Rio go? What happened to Rio? She's still there, but what's she doing? I think we get some, not just the return of Rio, but we get some revelations as to what's going on with Rio. I don't see this show in episodes 8 and 9 turning to, well, let's just explain Rio. I think the last 2 episodes are going to be more about Billy and Agatha, and I think this is the episode where you get a lot more Rio revelations. It's going to push you into the final 2 episodes. I think this tension between Billy and Agatha rises. I think them having to work together is going to be difficult. I think it's interesting in some of the promo materials that Agatha is dressed up as the Wicked Witch of the West, when if you ask anybody in Westview, that would be Scarlet Witch. That would be Elizabeth Olsen's character. But obviously, if you ask Ralph Boner, Agatha is going to be the Wicked Witch of the West, of Westview. I think it's interesting that she's cast as the Wicked Witch on the road. The road cast her as the Wicked Witch, and that Billy is dressed up like Maleficent. That they're both villains, and they're having to come to terms with some things. I don't think Billy actually has a personality yet. He went from being a figment of Wanda's imagination at 8 years old to being a 13-year-old trapped in a 13-year-old's body to being 16, 17 years old by the time they get on the road here. And so he hasn't had time to become a villain, but a villain in Agatha's story, sure, because he's just an extension of Wanda. But I think this idea of exploring Wanda's behavior, exploring who Wanda was, is going to be something that pushes Agatha to raise the stakes with Billy. Your mother wasn't what you thought she was, and she was this and that, and you don't know. Neither of them actually know what Wanda did in terms of the multiverse and trying to get her kids back. I'm curious to see how much Agatha talks about the Darkhold with Billy to try to besmirch his mother's name, and how that goes in terms of this. I think the references to Wanda, the Wicked Witch of the West, this tower and tarot card metaphor, 80% certain here that some of these things that have been Easter eggs up until now are going to be some big moments, and we're going to get a lot more Scarlet Witch lore and a lot more Wanda storyline kind of passive-aggressively, so to speak, because it really speaks to these two characters here in terms of defining their relationship. He's got to come to terms with his mother and come to terms with these other things. She's got to come to terms with who she is and what she's done that probably aided some of this behavior, if not caused it outright. And so where the story goes in terms of the drama and the character development, I think is really, really awesome. And I'm excited to see. This is going to be a big episode for that, because you've got these other witches that are angry about what Billy did. You've got them all trying to finish the road. They've got a reason to come together, which really lends itself to the whole, the coven being a group together. Still, Easter egg heavy. The last episode with everything in Billy's room is why I think we're definitely getting this Oz puzzle in this episode, because it was Wizard of Oz heavy in his bedroom, including references to all the things you've seen in the after credits, which are in the closing credits, which are all the different ways that he was researching Agatha and researching who he was. You get all that. The end credits scenes tend to make a little more sense, but I still think there's some Easter eggs in there that maybe we didn't pick up, or some things that we're going to continue to pick up. In addition to, I think we still have to have our Salem 7 showdown, and I don't know, I don't think that it's going to be in this episode, but I think they're closing in, and somewhere in episode 8 and 9, that's definitely going to happen. It has to happen, but either some Salem 7 references or some Rio Vidal revelations are going to come out, I would imagine, in episode 7, because I don't think throwing them all into episode 8 or into the final episode, I think there's too much other things that need to go on that aren't going to get resolved now with Billy and Agatha and his mother and finding Tommy and all these different things with the Coven and the Witches. Has to happen in episodes 8 and 9, because that's where the show has been going, as opposed to going off on these rabbit trails with these other characters. I think some of that happens in episode 7. Curious to see what you guys think. I'm throwing a lot of curveballs out here and taking a lot more stabs in the dark. Interested in what you guys think. Please like and subscribe. Write your theories in the comments. And as always, check out some of our other content. We got a ton of things that you can watch and comment on as well. And as always, guys, when the next one drops, we'll catch you right back here. Later.